Let's see if I can make this work.
Can I get the...
My dress was so tight, I couldn't put the sound thing in. There's that, okay?
The sound thing, I see.
The sound thing.
You worked quite a many years.
Very educated in the film business, yeah.
Well, you look lovely. You look, that's a beautiful dress.
Beautiful.
Is that like a cocktail dress? What would you call that? It's a beautiful, see, to me, it's a
I
dress.
don't know. It's like an oven mitt or something. I don't know. It feels very odd. But, yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot you can do when you're not that voluptuous.
No, you're very voluptuous. No, you're quite voluptuous.
I realize that you don't have to be big to be falling out of your dress. So excuse me if I'm...
No. Those are for kids. No, you look good. You look good.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your recent wedding. You got married.
Yes, I did. I got married. His name is Amit. He's lovely.
But we know who he is. Amit who?
Amit Zappa.
Zappa, exactly.
So now I can have kids with freakish names. I can be, I can have like a little Saturn Zappa or something.
Yes. Now, how does one meet a Zappa? How does one go about that? Is it an internet thing?
No, it was actually the strangest thing. I was actually set up, my dear friend Amanda set me up on a blind date, and she left this message on my machine and said, I have your husband. I didn't know I was looking for one, but she found him for me, and she said, call me back if you want to know who it is. And so I called her.
That's a great message.
Yeah, I know,
I found your husband, call me. You have to call back. How did you not call back?
Well, I waited a couple days and called her, and she said, it's Amit Zappa. And I said, oh my God, you're kidding me. There's no way I'm going out with that freak. I had seen him about...
With that freak?
I know. Wait, Amit, I have to make this clear. Amit, I love you so much because he'll have to forgive me for the rest of this little story. So I called and I said, no way am I going out with that freak. I think 10 years earlier I had seen him. He was hosting an MTV show, and I remember turning it on and thinking, oh my God, what an obnoxious oaf. I mean, any old fool can host a TV show now.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I just thought he was a complete tool. I don't think you're a tool. And so, every time I turn on a bad TV show, I think, God, what a drip. Amit could host a show like this, that drip. So anyhow, I actually he stayed in my consciousness as what repels me, and so so I wound up.
How does this blossom?
So we were set up on a blind date. He was 20 minutes late. So he was a late tool, and I wound up after 10 minutes into the date. I thought, this is the love of my life. I don't know.
Well, no, okay. Now here's a guy you've built up a hatred now for 10 years. Just the inner, your blood boils whenever you see something bad. Whenever you see a bad piece of work, you associate with this guy. So you want to, not really a blind date. You know who it is, but you've never met him. Is this correct?
Right.
Okay. All right. He shows up late. So what does he do within 20 minutes? It sweeps you off your feet.
I don't know. He's magic. Mama, he's a magic man. I don't know. He was so beautiful and sincere and sweet and precious. Now I think he's hysterical. He should host everything. I mean, except
Did he have a line? Like, what's the first thing he said? Did he apologize for being late? Did he come in and say, I'm sorry I'm late? Did he have some, like, goofy compliment or what?
No, he didn't. He didn't have any compliments at all. No, I fell in love with his eyes. He has these long eyelashes. He looked like Snuffleupagus. And I had always wanted to marry Snuffleupagus, I guess.
Had you been drinking prior to him being late? Have you had like a couple of cocktails when he showed up?
No, it was pretty early in the morning. So the effects had worn off already. My alcohol. And we went on a breakfast date.
A breakfast?
And I actually called him and said, you're wondering when this story will ever end. I called him and said, you know what, let's meet up. Our first date, I actually said, let's go on a wig fitting. I was going to go do this John Waters movie, Ride This Crazy Wig. Said, a wig fitting, that's a great idea. I'm sure he was just as taken with me as I was with him on that point. And I said, let's do that, and if we like each other after we eat breakfast, then we'll go to a movie. If not, we'll go our separate ways. And he thought that was really obnoxious, but apparently, he liked me okay, because 8 days later, he asked me to marry him.
So 8 days later, he asked you to marry, and you agreed on the 8th day?
I did. I agreed on the 8th day. I'm the luckiest girl.
Wow.
I figured if he's brave enough to ask me,
well, you have to, sure.
Yeah, you have to say yes.
Now, was it Was it a big wedding?
No, it was a small wedding.
Well, I'll tell you what.
It was 2 months later.
Let's take a break, and I want to, because within 8 days, this all happens, and it's like a movie. It all happens in 8 days.
Yeah.
There's more here. Let's find out.
So exciting.
More with Selma Blair. Welcome back. Talk with Selma Blair about her recent marriage to Ahmet Zappa. I know, was it at the Vatican with a huge thing and thousands of... Where did you get
No,
married?
it was small, and I had, just family and close friends in my friend's backyard, but I had a gorgeous wedding dress made. I wasn't a real wedding girl, but Karl Lagerfeld made me a beautiful pale pink dress, and he knew either what a slob I was or what a clothes horse, so he made me the identical one in black to change into after my, ceremony, so that was lovely. I was very spoiled.
Well,
Yeah, so I had 2 dresses on my wedding night, one of them being black, so
Let me ask you about
that's
something.
festive, I guess.
There's a picture of you in Vanity Fair.
Yeah.
Explain this picture, because the
Well-
dress is obviously deceiving.
I know, it's amazing. I don't know how I can strap those things down, to such a...
Why would you want to?
My
But
stomach
yeah,
sticks out
but-
farther than my little boobies.
Explain this.
That, it's for a John Waters movie, and it's called The Dirty Shame, and I play Ursula Utters. That's my stage.
Ursula Utters.
Caprice Tickles. So I'll have to come back when I'm promoting that movie, but it's amazing. Tracy Ullman is my mom, and
Right.
Chris Isaac was my dad in it. Rather, I was their daughter, because they're the
Okay.
stars. But,
Now tell me about wearing this. Did you go outside and walk around the street? Did men's...
I actually, no, I didn't. We tried to keep them under wraps. It was pretty hard because they're massive. There's no wraps that big, but but one day I was getting, it took like 4 hours to get them put on
Right.
for work, and I feel so inadequate now without them. I just feel like naked. But I walked out and I had my bathrobe on. I felt so frumpy, and I flashed a construction crew
Right.
that was right outside. And normally they really go for that. Not this time. They dropped their hammers. It was like clunk. And they headed for the hills.
Wow.
It was.
You sure they were guys?
No, they were guys. I was pretty fantastic looking.
Wow. Now tell me about the scientific study that you...
I didn't conduct it. I think, well, John Waters had this movie, Dirty Shame, inspired by, I guess, a scientific study that concussion sufferers can get really horny. And so, I guess, you hit your head and you're like, oh, I don't know. I'm sure you needed the visual of that one.
Yeah, so if you get hit in the head, it makes you a
Yeah,
sex
it makes
addict?
you feel, in this John Waters role, but I think it was, based on something that some study, some pervert did, but...
Pervert did the study. Well, that could throw it off, really, if a pervert is doing the study.
So, yeah, I play a girl that was hit on the head pretty severely when I was 7 around the maypole. So by the time I'm 18, my
You're just hanging off the maypole.
ginormous, I'm just, keep stuffing them with sex appeal, I guess.
Now tell us about Hellboy. This is based on the comic book.
Yeah,
obviously.
Hellboy. God, I just was such a dork. I do one comic book movie and I'm a geek already.
Did you read? Were you familiar with Hellboy before you got
No,
there?
I had never heard of Hellboy. And I was familiar with Guillermo del Toro, who directed it. He did Blade 2 and this movie called Devil's Backbone. And he's phenomenal vision and imagination and passion. And so I really wanted to work with him. He called me, and I went and met with him, and he handed me Hellboy, and I read it, and I loved him. Very film noir and beautiful.
Where did you do it? Where did you shoot it? Here?
We shot it in Prague for about
Prague.
7 months. It was amazing, and I play a fire starter girl named Liz Sherman. I play kind of Hellboy's love interest, and I kind of torch my whole family when I'm little, as you do.
As you do, really. As you do. As a matter of fact.
So she's,
And what, you can throw fire?
rage brings on, well,
Like PMS.
not like, I don't phlegm, I don't cough up a phlegm, rage makes me, I'm so embarrassed. Rage makes this,
Rage
the
makes the
flames
flames
come, and
come
some
out.
kids are throwing stones at me,
Okay.
as they did when I was little, but they were throwing stones at her, hit her head, and the whole town goes up in flames. She goes to the BPRD Paranormal Research Department. I'm really selling this movie, and I meet Hellboy, and he falls in love, and it's amazing, and the movie is like...
And you had to act like how does one act like they're on fire?
Apparently,
You just go...
it was.
What do you do?
I didn't have a lot of sense memory for that acting moment. Remember the stove? Not the same. But I actually felt like the biggest drip on set. There was a scene, the first one, where I burst into flames. I'm lying on the bed, and, well, I won't reenact it, really. What am I doing? So
Okay, you're lying on the bed. No, I like that. It's, especially in that
lying
outfit.
on the bed of Guillermo, the director. I'm in this mental hospital, as I usually am. And I'm going to stop with that. And so so I didn't know what to do to be in flames because they were adding it later, so I wasn't really on fire, don't worry.
Right.
And,
So what do you do?
I just, And Guillermo, after a couple takes, he's like, monkey brain, no more orgasm. So,
well, I guess you go with what you know.
I didn't know, yeah.
You go with what you know. So.
Fire orgasm, it was a really humiliating moment. I'm glad I could reenact here.
Yeah, all right. Well, here, let's get it. What's happening in this scene? Hellboy is, where are you going?
Hellboy is about, I think we're in these catacombs in Moscow, as you are. No, just joking. And, so he's getting attacked by these monsters, these semi-elves.
Okay, semi-elves.
Semi-elves, yeah.
Let's take a look.
What do you want me to do?
You should be running.
Selma, thank you very much. Be right back with Exhibit right after this. Don't go away.